Hello, 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 hello. Here we are once again after a very long time of not being around and not doing not doing much, and definitely not at all in any one of the social media. However, we have decided to return today because, as we all know, we are pretty close to election day. November is just around the corner, and there is a lot of issues going on. There is a lot of stuff that we really have a lot of interest in to talk about. And today we have a very short interview. We have a guest today, so somebody's with us today. I'm going to leave it because I know that it has been so long since I've not been in the channel that probably not that many people are going to look at him. However, it is important. I wanted to come back and look at it and listen to what he had to say, because this friend of mine have something that is very important or something very interesting that I do want to submit to your consideration. So those are important things that has to be talked about. Let's go to a break, and I'll be back in a minute. Well, here you have it. Hi, Matt. Hi, Matt. Good to see you. Good to see
Hey
you.
everybody.
Yeah, here we are. This is Matt Singleton. He is running for the school board for District Number 5 in Jefferson County, right here in Louisville, Kentucky. Now, Matt, introduce yourself and tell us who you are and tell us something about your platform. As
All right. So my name is Matt Singleton, and basically now I am most important. I guess I'm a pastor, and I am a tutor. Work at the Way of Wisdom Learning Center. And let me first start off with my platform.
uh-huh.
I start off with 2 yeses and 2 nos.
Mhm.
Number one, we want to raise the standardized test scores for our children. Number two, we want to introduce more school safety in our classrooms. Number three, we need to say no to all this indoctrination, which unfortunately it's a whole load of things that are going on right now, and we can talk a little bit more about that. But we want to say no to the indoctrination, and we say uh, no to the tax hikes and all the wasteful, reckless spending that's
Mhm.
going on in JCPS right now. And I guess we can, Irina, you can go ahead and just kind of guide me along
Uh,
what you're interested in.
yes, the thing is that we want to hear to the candidates. This is something that I find very important. That everybody get a chance to say something about exactly who you are and why is it that you're running. Can you tell me again the point number two of your of uh, the things
Yeah.
you want?
Okay. You're talking about school safety.
Can you tell me, Matt, why school safety is a concern for you,
Mhm.
and what it is that is going on in the schools that will make you feel like the safety of the school? We know that there is a lot of shooting. There have been shootings. There have been threats in the school. But I want to know from you. I want to take from you why this particular point prompt you to go ahead and nominate yourself to run for the school board. What happened with the school safety right here in JCPS? Tell me.
Well, I'll tell you what, I can walk literally 5 minutes and hit Iroquois High School where they had a giant battle royal. There was about 15 kids involved. They beat the snot out of the SRO officer. A lot of people getting hurt, a lot of things getting messed up. And basically, this can damage the students, and it can even damage the teachers. A lot of the teachers don't want to come back to work no more because of these things. Let me tell you something. Okay. I started out as a victim of these things, so much so that there was a Courier Journal article in 1995 about the bullying I went through. I was in a gym class that would be just having all the kids sit down for 45 minutes at a time while the teachers just sat over there and kids would go nuts. And when it came to bullying, I got bullied a lot. They had a fella who would, hit me, punch me, they cuss me out. I had my tooth knocked out.
Oh, wow.
They would spit on me, all that kind of stuff. And they would start chanting. This is weird. They'd start chanting on my mat. They'd start chanting fat match, fat match. And then this guy would say, is anyone this person's friend? And there were probably about 170, 180 kids there. And he says, anyone this kid's friend? And nobody was raised their hand. Does anybody hate him? About 40 kids would raise their hand. And so basically, that did a lot of damage to me. I had to get taken out of the school system for a little while. And my mother also was a school teacher. And probably about a decade, 15, 20 years later, she got sent to an early retirement because at that very same school later on that she worked, a kid got angry and jumped on top of her back and messed her back up so that she was, basically constrained to her couch, for most of the rest of her life.
Wow.
Now, in my district, there have been, in the last 5 years, 20,000 instances of bullying. So this is something going on a lot right now.
Is there any place, Matt, where you can back up that statistics? I mean, there is any place that anybody that want to see exactly the number of kids bullied can just support that saying, yes, it's true there is about 20,000 incidents of bullying. Is that for a fact?
I have now. I'm thinking it was a Courier Journal article, but this is to me think off the top of my head. But I keep all these things recorded onto my Facebook group page, which is MJ Singleton District 5 School Board JCPS. And basically, so I'll post these and we'll talk about them and stuff. And these incidents are going crazy. There was, let's see here, last year, there was a teenage boy assassinated, and then 3 elementary school kids who got caught in the line of fire. They didn't get killed, but they just got, injured and nicked or whatever from the stray bullets. Then in the spring, over in Fern Creek, there was a girl who got raped between 6th and 7th period. Wow. And essentially, the camera had the whole thing. I don't know why it took so long, but basically she got taken and she got raped. And then there was a boy in Conway Middle School, and apparently he has gotten this guy arrested who was a teacher's aide and a coach for a year's worth of activity of 5 counts of molestation, 4 counts of sodomy. And he was arrested in June. And as far as I'm aware, they have not had trial yet. And so that's just stuck there. He's not technically fired yet. I assume, and I think most people would assume that he's out of contact with the children at least. But these instances are going on constantly. There's a lot of root causes we could talk about as well.
Wow. I do believe the parents need to know that these kind of things are going on in our classrooms. That when do you say? Tell me again. When did you say you have that experience, that personal experience of bullying in the school? What year?
It was in Stewart Middle School in 1991, I think. And basically, it was a gym class where they took just to kind of make things easier, I guess. They put 5 classes together, but they wouldn't actually have the kids do anything for most of the day. And so it would become a situation like that movie, Lord of the Flies. Wow. I mean, literally, the kids would start getting rowdy. And when you put kids, if you have an individual kid, they're a little lamb. But, once you start putting them together in larger groups, then they start feeling empowered, acting up, and all of a sudden they want chaos.
Matt, this is one of the things that are of more concern for parents regarding the children. And I can tell you as a Hispanic mother that a lot of Hispanic people are very much concerned about this. Mm-hmm. because they don't know how the school works, but the kids come back home and they are very much, completely demoralized. Kids don't want to return to school.
Yeah.
Many times they don't say that to the parents. As a candidate and a nominee for District Number 5, how are you intending to address that situation?
Okay. So, by the way, and there was another story that I had picked up from a lawyer where basically a Islamic family had a child who basically some people with like homosexual rights groups and stuff, they started trying to convince him to be homosexual and possibly, transition and, sex change and all that kind of stuff. And so the kid responded, "I don't know. I think if I did that, I think my parents would kill me." And they were like, "Aha!" Because they're Muslim kids, my parents would kill me. So they got CPS after them, and they barricaded the kids away from their parents in the school building for 2 days.
What
And
school is that?
they obviously didn't have legal authority, so eventually they had to drop all that. But this is what it's come to because there is an agenda within the school system, and it didn't start with our local schools and local teachers, but it started in Washington and
Mhm.
in the universities, and it's moved its way down. They want to destroy our culture. They are at a war. This is like the Cold War, okay? And they are at war with us, and they're trying to change our kids' culture. They say, you don't speak those words, you speak the words we want you to speak. You know what I'm saying? They say, okay, this is a boy. No, that's not a boy. That's not a girl. You know. And then how do you treat a lady if you don't know what a lady is? All these different things. When I do tutoring, we do a lot of phonics, and you'll have like the kids will go through, and what's this picture of?
Give
Boy.
me, give me a second.
Yeah.
Let's go to a break, and then we're gonna return back. And when we return, you will tell me exactly what do you do with the tutoring and what are the circumstances you're facing
Okay. Yeah.
due to the fact that with all this situation that we're living in the schools,
I
how
have a
do you
plan.
think? Yeah. Let's
Do
go.
that.
Now we're back talking to Max Singleton, a candidate for District Number 5, for the Jefferson County School Board. We've been talking about some pretty rough stuff that is going on in the school with bullying, with fighting, with raping, and now he's about to tell us exactly what are the challenges he faces when he have to go ahead and tutor the kids and teach them spelling. Right.
So let me kind of start off. There is a principle that should be going on in place, and that is the fact that we should be teaching universal truths, helping kids with reading, writing, arithmetic, job skills, get them ready for their secular life.
Mm.
It is not for them to raise the children, have authority over the children, take away people's constitutional rights or a constitutional mindset.
Yeah.
And so what happens is that if they are teaching a religion, if they are teaching morality, and in this case is like metaphysics or anything like that, then that should not be part of the classroom. Section 189 of the Constitution, not really the best worded, but essentially it'll say, well, we're not going to give any tax dollars to a private school, to a Christian school, to a homeschool, to a sectarian school. Now, with that, there is one thing people miss very clearly on that bill:
Mm.
no sectarian schools. What you are being taught, if it's not universal knowledge and just somebody's opinion, somebody's feeling, you are not being taught what you should. You are being taught sectarian doctrine.
So is that
They
right?
take when they take down the American flag and put other flags up and tell your kids, these are the flags that you pledge allegiance to, okay, it
Yeah.
probably goes a lot worse than just sectarian. So it is sectarian at minimum,
Yes. Yeah,
which
yeah,
means
right.
that the schools legally cannot be collecting any tax dollars until they change this.
Mhm.
And they have ignored by force, they have ignored what any parents have to say.
Uh-huh.
And this is why we need people on the school board throwing this out there. Because what will happen is that once we hit that point,
Yes.
then we basically have control over the school system. There's other laws being broken as well.
Uh-huh.
The transportation of pornography into the library. And by the way, we're not talking just regular dirty pornography. We're talking about illegal child pornography, stuff to help pedophilia.
Yes.
And this is horrible stuff. As a pastor, I hate to be, getting into details
Graphic.
like
Yeah,
that.
but it has to be said. It has to be.
Yeah.
Somebody has to say it, for crying out loud.
Yes. And so, I had to see the images, and it is completely, utterly nasty. You can, if you want access to them, you can. But just the simple fact is, they are putting out kiddie porn, okay? And they're putting that out to middle school age. And I've heard, I don't know if things change. Maybe they did get them out or whatever, but I've heard that they've gone down as low as elementary school age. But whether it's elementary school or middle school, I don't think it's even appropriate for adults to be
But
looking
anyway,
at stuff. And by the way, it is illegal in a lot of places. People get caught, looking at child pornography. They've been arrested and all sorts of things.
yeah, you do.
So, yeah, so it's already illegal. But
So
they,
somehow, the school board have managed to, or to
how they wiggle out of
supersede,
it.
to
Yeah.
supersede the law and make it legal within the school to have pornography. Uh, can you tell me something about that? How that, we all agree that that has to be changed, but
Yes.
how can that happen?
So it can be changed rather easily. What they did was they've skirted their responsibilities because the people that are paying for their system want to put that stuff in there. Okay.
Uh,
That's why they do not budge, because they are paid off. You have to understand that these people are enslaved by the dollar. So even like, we saw a guy who's up there as a minister, and, I don't think he's my kind of minister, but still, the fact that they hear this stuff and then they go along with it. But what they could have done is they could say, we're not going to sign off on any more money flowing through this system until this stuff is out of the schools. They also could say, Marty, this is illegal. Guess what? You're fired. So they have options. They're not going to use them because they are paid off.
who's not using it, Matt? The school system, the superintendent, the school board, who's not using those options?
Okay, so the school board is supposed to be in control, and then they say, well, we give authority over to Marty Polio. And then Marty Polio says, well, I give authority over to the, oh gosh, what is it? They have these like in every school. There's like
Oh,
two
the
teachers, three,
JDBM,
yeah,
the
on-site councils. That's what I used to call them.
decision base.
Yeah, so they pass it over to the on-site councils, who's really not accountable. Okay, because you got two parents, and which two parents? Probably two parents who are already with the system, and then you got two teachers and the principal. So everyone's affected, usually by the teachers' unions. Okay, so in other words, they're controlling the curriculum. When they asked me a questionnaire, Better Schools for Kentucky, they wanted to ask if I was going to support maximum taxation. They wanted me to support maximum taxation. They wanted me to support gay, LGBT, what was it, transgender, trans this, trans that. And then all of a sudden it said sexual expression. Now, why does a teacher need to have the freedom to sexually express themselves to children?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, when you look at the wording of these things, especially when they had everything else laid out there, what's really going on? They are serving an agenda that I believe is Marxist in nature, but not just Marxist, because that would just be economic.
Marxist, it's just evil.
Yeah, it's evil. We'll say that.
With their
Yeah,
name.
they support the devil. Okay, then we're going to go there.
Money.
Because I'll tell you this, my campaign says, look, it's one thing if you want to talk about whether God's in schools, but you need to get the devil out of the schools.
Yeah,
that's what I'm here for.
Yeah,
get the devil out of the schools. Let me go over my plan real quick. Is that okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So one thing is all the power coming to them gets to their heads. Okay. The love of money is the root of all evil. So we have to start off with a massive tax cut. Now, once we start enforcing Section 189, then we have freedom to say, okay, no, that's money not going there. We're going to make a massive tax cut. Then with that massive tax cut, we will do a little bundle offer. And so what you can do is A, just take your tax cut, or B, let's say you have a child and you got your brother, your uncle, your cousin, your buddy, somebody you work with, they all love you and your kid, and they all give their tax cuts together, pay full tuition for the kids. Okay. And they can go to any school that they choose. Or even, let's say if they don't want to go to an alternative school, they can go and put that money into school supplies and put it directly, because this is what happens. Like, there's so much money, even the teachers know it, that there's tons of money that they just don't get. And so they're like, okay, we're struggling here, and you're putting all this millions of dollars over here. Yeah. So we start off with that. We cut those taxes. We give school choice through that bundle system. And then we localize the school busing, which saves a lot of money. And then that school busing will help localize the neighborhood so that everybody can come to the PTA meetings. Some will talk about reforming the PTA to a PTO, but that's neither here nor there. We want to take control, though, and get the neighborhood back into these groups. Yeah. And I want to dig a pathway from the PTAs to the school board where they can offer their input from the neighborhood onto the curriculum, and perhaps maybe we can add a vote or two based on the will of the PTAs. And so, long story short, we will get our schools back in the same time, and then security. Let's see. Also, of course, we need our SROs. I want some security around the buses. If they go into a bad neighborhood and they know homicides are happening, get a car around there. Come out there about 10, 15 minutes early, and make that place safe. There was another attempted shooting and all that kind of stuff. Somebody was chasing around a bus back in August. Okay. So, I mean, this stuff is happening because... Yeah, like they had a gun, and apparently they felt like that their daughter was being bullied at school, so they were going to threaten everybody on the bus and the bus driver and all them, and so they chased them around for a little ways. And violence breeds violence. I mean, this stuff grows and grows and festers. Wow. So, yeah, and so we do that. We can have some...
Okay. Let's take a break for 5 seconds because this.
I know.
This is a lot to process. This is a lot to process, but I'm so glad. Yeah. Matt, seriously, so glad that we get the chance to hear those things. Because in reality, the rest of the candidates are not making so clear how much are they or what are they planning to do with this. Yes. And I do believe parents need to hear that. People need to hear that. Regardless of whatever personal opinion you may have about Matt Singleton, the things that are going on in the schools that he's talking about are very serious. Yes. We're going to a break, and then we will be back in a second. minutes, Matt, we have for this last segment, and you were getting ready to tell me something. Please do so.
Okay. I will tell you what's going on as far as behind the scenes. Um, the PV, they are under influence by the Jefferson County Republican Party, which is under influence by Mitch McConnell. And they are taught and told and instructed and kind of pushed and said, don't talk, don't tell anybody anything. Try to play it back and just be nice and quiet, and maybe they'll let you sneak through. This is a horrible thinking. It's a horrible philosophy, okay? Because what we need to do, okay, I'm a pastor. Let your light shine before all men, okay? We need the power of the Holy Spirit to impress upon people instead of hiding it under a bushel, okay? They think that, like, okay, well, we'll just duck and cover, okay? Say something nice over here. Don't give away any ideas. But also that means don't give us accountability.
Yeah.
Now my opponent has experience in military intelligence.
Okay.
And that is espionage. And so it's funny because people say, like, he keeps a lot of secrets. It's like, well, and you know what? I mean, that could just be an irony, but it's something it's endemic.
Yeah.
But basically, with these different groups, once you have them saying, I have all this money and I will help you, but if you cross this line, I'm not helping you, then you don't get to be free. So now that I'm independent, I get to be free and I get to tell it the way it really is. So that's what goes on. But I will say that, like, a lot of these people, I'm not talking about them as individuals, because I think a lot of them are good people, a lot of good ideas. But understand, when you get into this level and start playing with the power, then you get enchained by all this stuff just to get there, And so that's what's going on, is that, like, they're trying, our representatives are trying to stop us from overly influencing people to God, to the right, to better economics. I mean, all this kind of stuff. And, meanwhile, the other group, they are just, coming in. And do you remember, we were all together, probably the day we knew each other the best, was at what was supposed to be the National Day of Prayer. And there were some people that, we'll just say they were under Marxist influence, started kind of acting up.
I remember.
Yeah. And, a couple people said they looked a little bit like they might be capping or whatever. But long story short, you know what? The girls from King Solomon Missionary Baptist Church and this lady here decided to fight the devil with the Holy Spirit. And you laid hands on them. And I know that we had one conversion from that. And basically I don't know the person there, but that was reported.
What?
And and you remember a couple of them, you're laying their hands on them, they're crying, all that kind of stuff. So basically, we had a battle, and it wasn't a physical battle, it was a spiritual battle. That's what we need to understand. This is not just an intellectual battle, it's a spiritual battle. Wow. And so David doesn't need Saul's armor. We don't need to fight in the flesh. We don't need to say, oh, I'm the big muddy roller. No. All right. We need to reach out to people and get the Holy Spirit to convict people's hearts. Because the whole system, okay, when we talk about the system, the original American system is based on common sense that comes from our Lord, that impresses upon all people. And so if we start growing that spirit of common sense, that spirit of liberty and godliness and salvation, then all of a sudden it's going to move the people. But if we're tiptoeing and acting like a bunch of cowards, they'll say, why do I want to attach myself to a bunch of cowards? I want to be on the winning team. Yeah. So you know what we need to do is, just like Rocky's wife told him, win.
Wow.
And so I'm going around, I'm walking on just 9 toes. Okay, I got my big toe cut off. But I took my 9 toes and I've hit, with the exception of 100 from friends, over 1,900 houses.
Wow.
Okay. And I'm still going after we get done with this interview. I'm off.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm running again.
I'm going to tell you what am I going to do. I'm going to try to just look at the recording, try to see if I can translate it because so many parents
Okay.
need to hear this.
Yes.
It needs to be said.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what anybody had to say. We, the people, have to talk to each other and tell each other, guys, this is going on.
Yeah.
And we better team up together to stop it. Or our children are the ones that are going to get it. And this cannot be tolerated.
And even the basic common sense here, okay?
Yeah.
Even if we get rid of all the little hot button issues, okay? They want to raise up your taxes and take down your kids' intelligence.
I know.
That's all there is. You want to pay more for stupidity. You know?
I know. Matt Singleton, my pleasure, really and truly. I really wish you the best, and we were going to be praying that the will of God will be done into you in your life. And thank you. I'm going to be moving, I'm shadow banned by Facebook. That's what I didn't use the page because really and truly, even my daughter cannot find my page. So I put you in YouTube, but I'm gonna go to Rumble, to Telegram. I'm gonna take the word out. I put little pieces of your words everywhere because these need to be said. It may be politically, it's not politically correct, the things you are saying, but are the right things to say.
Yeah. And you know what? Not to say I'm not going to accept money, but I am collecting prayer. Okay?
Yeah. But no, and if we have to tell people to support your campaign, yes.
Yeah.
It had to be said, it had to be done.
Yeah.
So say so. If they want to support you, man, then where did they have to go? Let me put it. Did I write it right? Can you see the banner? NJ Singleton, District 5, JCPS. Is that the page?
M. Matt.
M.
So, M. Matthew John Singleton's M. J. Singleton.
MJ.
I think everything else is good though.
Okay, let me see. So if they want, MJ Singleton, District 5, JCPS. Mm-hmm. If they go there, they can contribute to your campaign?
They probably have to contact me at this point. I do have a campaign bake. Sorry, I've been going through a lot. I've got a campaign bank account, ready and set up for that. Also, I always advertise my phone number.
Okay.
I want people to be able to reach me.
Okay, give it to me. I'm gonna put it
over here. Here's one of my new ones we're coming out with. Okay. And then I'll show you the.
Okay.
It's a 502 380 7368. And let me see if I can put that on there. Oh, so, there you go. Right. Yeah, right there. Yeah. So they can call me up. And then you could text me.
Put it back. Bring it back close to that strip of letter because I was looking at something there. To the left. There you go.
The right, the front, the back.
380-7368. Definitely. So yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So you give me a call or a text.
That is the telephone you have to go to support Matt Singleton.
Yeah.
This is the place you have to go because our kids are hurting. The scores are hurting, and our money and our pockets are hurting as well. So I agree with you. It's an unconventional candidate. I agree that probably some of you will say, well, I've never seen somebody like Matt Singleton. But maybe, just maybe, this is what we need. People that will simply tell the truth like it is without sugarcoating it and compromising. So this is the reason why we have this interview. We're going to try to do it. I know, but you never know. We are doing it because according to what Matt showed me in his award that he's keeping, the Never Quit Award and the Never Quit the Student. And that's Matt Singleton. District number 5. Look at, show it again. The Never Quit. the Never Quit Award for Max Singleton. So he have never quit. And thank God for that, because he's telling some truth that people need to hear. Probably they don't want. Probably they will try, they don't want you to see this video, but you need to see it. So thank you so much, Matt. I'm really, really thankful for that. And that's it, guys. This is our Thursday chat with Irene Baptist in Let Me Sort of Say. We'll see you around. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.